Well, I had to take a little break there, get myself some water. I have a little tickle in my throat, and hopefully this will help. So here we go. I'm going to show you what I had been making. These are the hat and scarf sets, the two of them that I did have already made. This one is called the Brick Beanie. It's by Brianna Maudlin, and she's from Hooked on Homemade Happiness. She's got a crochet along that's going on, and it's called, let me refer to my notes here. I can't find the name of that. Oh, Crochet Along for a Cause. I will link this down in the description below. There's the beanie. Now, what I do, because the casting off the cold requires a hat and a scarf set, I just use the leftovers and I make a scarf to go with it, just with a random stitch that I choose, and make as long and as wide a scarf as I can. This is as much yarn that I have left. These yarns came from Cambridge Fiber Outlet, and they were part of a weighed bag of leftover yarn that I purchased from them last year. So there was one. Another hat and scarf set that I have. This one is called the Making Waves Beanie. It was also from Brianna Maudlin. And I did the same. I just made a scarf using leftover yarn. I believe this one is with Brava worsted yarn. So those are my hats. I'm now working on hats, and again, because I'm part of that crochet along, I'm using some more Brava. This is Brava stripes in the worsted, and for the brim on this hat, I used a Bernat Super Value in the color Topaz. I don't have a scarf made for this one yet. Is it showing up? Yeah, there we go. The stripes is called Buttercream, and this one is the Granny Stitch Beanie. This was the most recent one in the crochet along, and I haven't yet tied in my ends. I just finished this one last night. All of these patterns are available on her website as a free pattern, and I think she just asks that if you make it, that you please donate one for some local place in need, whether that's for in any organization in your area. So that's something that I've been doing now. This is for the second year that I've been participating in her crochet along. And I thank Brianna for these lovely patterns. Some of them have been really exactly the type of stitch and the warmth that I've been looking for in ones that I like to donate. So that's that. I also started a pattern by a different designer. This one is Suzanne Carlson Designs. Her name, and she goes by Crafting Each Day. It's the Pacifica Beanie. I received it free as part of a blog hop. It is available on Ravelry for $3. There's a picture of it. I thought that would be quite nice for any of the teens or men that receive donation. I decided to work on this one during the day, and that's why I picked up that granny stitch one to work on, and you can see why, because I decided to use black yarn, which I don't generally use, but I thought a lot of the guys, I know my sons, they like to wear this color or non-color. So I thought I might do one of my hat and scarf sets. I do have to work on this by the window in the daytime though. So there we go. And I have plenty. This is a ball of Craft Smart yarn and in the color black. So I'll have plenty to do a scarf to go with this hat. And again, that I checked, and that definitely is a pattern that's available over Ravelry if you wanted to check out Suzanne Carlson designs for that one. All of those I'll link, I'll put the names of them down in the description box and you can check for them. Now, I have a couple of happy news things that are not yarn related. One of them, Jeff and I, we have something special coming up for us this coming week, and we received our first card in the mail. So there we go. We have an anniversary coming up this coming week. It's in early October, so that's a special personal thing. And the other thing is news about Jeff. Last weekend, he and his team won a championship in softball. So that was exciting news. They played really well last weekend, so I just want to congratulate him for a job well done for their team. So that was exciting for all of them. Now, just to catch up on some of the projects that I was talking about last week, I was talking about my sweater, and this is a sweater that Brianna K is doing. It's called the Lovely Lace Crochet Sweater. It's a crochet along. There's a link on YouTube and Ravelry, and I've been working along. I'm not quite done the body of it yet, and it's still, still coming along. I'm learning quite a bit, which I'm really happy about, because in her tutorials, she's taught about doing some shaping, which I never knew how to do on a sweater. And I also learned this lace on here. I believe this is my first top-down sweater that I've done in the round as well. So lots of good learning on this. And again, it's a Premier Chow Baby yarn. Unfortunate that this is being discontinued because I really do love working with this yarn. So if anybody knows a similar yarn, I would love to know, because it's becoming one of my favorites to work with. Yeah, so disappointed that I won't be able to get much more of this, because this really is lovely to work with. It's 70% acrylic, 30% nylon, and really, really a pleasure to work with. And the last item, of course, is the baby blanket. This one is part of Judy's. I participated in Judy's crochet along. She has a flower inspiration crochet along that she's doing. And I'll link Judy's information. Her YouTube name is Judy's Creations in Crochet. And this is her September flower crochet along. So last week, I showed the blanket that I was working on. I didn't have the border done yet. What I decided to do was a row of half double crochet, and then I imitated the granny squares and finished just with a row of single crochets. And of course, in the corners, I do a stitch, a chain 2, and a stitch in each of the corners so that they're nice and pointy. For this one, when I joined in one loop using a single crochet to join all the squares. And I'm going to stand back and show you the finished blanket. Here you go. And as always, I try to do a little hat to go with the blanket. This one, I used, again, one of the crochet along hats from Brianna Maudlin. And this one is called the beret style beanie. It came as a adult sized hat, and I made a little baby sized one so it would match the colors in that blanket. Yeah. So what I do when I'm adjusting the size of a hat, often I'll either use a smaller hook, maybe fewer rows than the pattern calls for, sometimes both. And then I'll find, I'll measure as I go along to find if it meets the size requirements for that size as required. And as far as the amount of yarn left, this is what I had left. And in that blanket, I think I mentioned last week, I used some Caron Simply Soft in the color Orchid, a number of balls of Brava worsted. This was in their mini skeins. And this dark purple, it came in a Mary Maxim 1 pound yarn ends bag. And that's it. So those were my projects this week. As far as things that I've been learning, I also took a short course in learning about charts and graphs, and I'm also partway through a course in learning color theory. One of those courses was by Knitting with Chopsticks, and the other course is by Han Jan, which is Hannah Cross, and both of those are available as paid courses. I did get one of those for free as a download. I participated in a Crochet Blanket Summit, and a number of courses came as free with that Blanket Summit. This Charts and Graphs course was one of those freebies. I'm wondering, as I receive more subscribers on my channel, if I might come in, just pop in occasionally to let people know when I hear of things that are coming up with free options, similar to blog hops, or where there are free patterns available, or courses that have a free option, so that people can participate and learn more on their crochet journey. Many people are blessed and have space for lots of yarn. I'm not at that place yet. and I hope someday that I will be. Right now, I'm um, I'm at a spot where I have limited space for yarn. However, I love to collect patterns and participate in courses so that I can increase my knowledge, increase um, the number of patterns that I have available. I collect them when they're free. I collect them when they're available at a discounted price, and I also buy them at full price. So that is my, I would call it, that is my guilty pleasure, is to enjoy a large selection of patterns. So if you would like to hear about when those kind of things are available, please feel free to subscribe. And I'm not going to be affiliated with anybody, but I will be happy to share when I hear about those things as um, I become aware of them. So have a wonderful day. Have a lovely weekend. And I look forward to seeing and hearing from, well, I look forward to hearing from some of you. And until next Friday, have a lovely time working on your whips and enjoy your crochet. Take care.